Based on this from the testimony about your case, will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
That's all we got.
You may have a seat.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Absolutely.
Good afternoon. Could you please introduce yourself to the jury?
Good afternoon. My name is Detective Bengal Dow.
Where do you work?
I work for Miami-Dade Sheriff's Office, Crime Scene Investigations.
What do you do as a crime scene detective?
Besides handling crime scenes, I do all manner of documentation of crime scenes, evidence collection, preservation, impounding. I do
You rolled
drones.
your eyes when you said impounding. What is that, and why did you roll your eyes?
That's a large portion. That's a large portion of our job responsibilities is impounding evidence to make sure that they can get into the lab and finish getting processed and whatnot.
Does that also include photography?
It does. That's part of the documentation process. I do drones. I do 3D imaging, blood spatter. I do all manner of crime scene. I've been there a little while.
How long have you been a crime scene investigator?
I'll be 20 years this October.
Before going to the crime scene unit of the Sheriff's Office, or formerly the Miami-Dade Police Department, where were you assigned?
Before that, I was in Uniform Patrol, Northside District, as an FTO.
And what's that, an FTO?
I'm sorry, field training officer. Taught the new guys coming out of the academy and took the information that they learned in the academy and applied it to real-world situations.
What was it that made you decide to go into the crime scene unit?
Well, at the time, I really didn't know I wanted to go into crime scene. It was suggested by one of my coworkers. He thought that I'd be good at it. I was very interested in crime scene and the science aspect of it. So I went ahead and interviewed. I had an opportunity to interview. I interviewed, was selected, and here we are 20 years later.
As an investigator with Miami-Dade Sheriff's Office, are you sometimes requested to assist other law enforcement agencies with their cases?
Yes, quite frequently.
Were you asked last year to assist the State Attorney's Office and the Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission with a pending case?
Yes, I was.
What were you asked to do?
Documentation of a reenactment involving vessel homicide.
Did you have any involvement in the initial investigation back in September of 2022?
No, this was my first and only involvement in this case.
Okay. Did you and your agency, in fact, assist with that request?
I did.
Okay. Do you have a pilot's license to operate a drone?
I do. I have what's referred to as an FAA Part 107. Oh, I'm sorry. An FAA Part 107 pilot's license.
How did you get that? Like, what do you have to do to get that kind of a license?
Well, we ended up studying quite a bit. There was some training that we took as well to prepare. And then you sit for the test with an FAA certified testing site, which I passed, and that allowed us to begin our drone program. I'm one of the founders for the drone program for Miami-Dade.
One of the what?
Founders.
Okay.
We started the program.
How many other pilots of drones are there within the department?
Well, now we have quite a few, but in our unit specifically, we have 6.
Now, this reenactment that took place, do you remember what day it was?
It was June 9th of 2025. It was a Monday.
Okay. So like 1 year and 2 days ago, basically?
Yes.
Okay. Where did that reenactment occur?
Cutler Bank. And it's a body of water over by just south of Turkey Point. It's a power plant.
Detective, with the court's permission, would you please step down for a moment?
Sure.
I have this little pointer here, and for the record, I'm showing you State's Exhibit number 2, which is in evidence. Do you see the location of Cutter Bank on this?
As far as my glasses.
I have my glasses on, and there's a little part here that says something like
Oh, I
Cutter
see.
Bank Shallows.
Oh, it's
Is
with
that
the
the right
stickers.
one?
Yes, that's
Okay.
correct.
Okay. Do you see where the approximate location of where Turkey Point would be?
The Turkey Point, this is the cooling, large cooling canals.
Angle yourself just so
Oh,
that everybody can see.
The
Sorry.
cooling, this is for the cooling of
Oh.
the actual Turkey Point and the Turkey Point.
Okay, thanks. And let me ask you, where were you during this reenactment?
We decided to stay off to the side here, and we launched and retrieved the drone from the vessel.
Okay. Can you just point again where you were? Okay. Thanks. Before I ask you more questions about that reenactment, are you yourself a boater, a person who likes to go out on boats?
I am.
Where'd you grow up?
I grew up in Maine.
And what do most of your family members do?
They're all commercial fishermen.
So growing up, how often were you on a boat?
All the time.
Okay. Since leaving Maine for Miami, have you been on boats?
Yes, I've owned boats, and family members own boats, and I help use their boats and all that.
Are you familiar with how channel markers are designed to assist with safe boating?
Yes.
Can you explain?
Channel markers use a red and white marker system, and that helps with navigation on open waterways as well as estuaries and rivers. So basically the big rule of thumb is red, right, return. So when you're returning to port, you want to have the red marker to your right side, and those markers, regardless of where you're at on the water, you always know which way to go because of the way the marker system is, as far as what side you should be on, so people don't get confused even at night.
So if a channel goes more north and south than east and west, what side would the green markers be on versus the red markers?
The green markers are on the side of the channel that is where the United States is, where the land is. Not necessarily where an island is or what have you, but it's there. Unless it's in a river, and the river then it's upstream. So that same rule applies, but it's an upstream rule. So if you're going against the stream, the red markers are on the right.
Can you explain for the jurors, what was the idea behind trying to reenact the vessel crash that happened on September the 4th of 2022? Was that with an eye toward what we're doing right now in trial?
Well, we definitely, we want to be able to, graphically show what occurred to the best of our ability, right? So when we start, not everybody's familiar with the waterways, not everybody's familiar with how boats work, and speed and the different dynamics of boating. So we want to be able to show that, right? We want to be able to document that to the best of our ability and as close and as proximate as we can.
Without jeopardizing the safety of a jury?
Yeah, no, we definitely don't want to do it with the jury.
Having, I imagine, traveled in automobiles and traveled on boats, how does 40 miles per hour feel on a boat versus in a car?
When we're talking about speed on a boat, speed on a boat is more significant than it is in like an automobile. We're all used to traveling at speed, right? If we're thinking of a 40 mile an hour zone, we're thinking, that's like Kendall Drive, or it's that kind of speed. However, on a boat, you're going through an item that's 1,000 times thicker than the open air, and it takes a lot more energy to get up to that speed, to get going, and it's obviously much more difficult to do it, and you're exposed in a boat the whole time. There are no seat belts or nothing like that, so
So can you please talk a little bit about what safety measures were taken into consideration prior to actually engaging in this reenactment?
The first things we started to...
Objection, Your Honor. 401, 403.
All right, I'm sorry. Okay, go ahead.
Thank you. Detective, can you describe the process and the steps that were taken prior to actually going out there and doing this recreation?
Yeah, well, first we had to outline what the mission was going to be. So we did a bunch of phone calls and meetings with FWC and the state attorney's office to figure out the scope and the best way to proceed. Since this was our first time doing a water launch or a vessel launch with the drone, we met up with our Marine Patrol to take a look at their boat to make sure that we had a boat that was available that would suit our needs. Then we ended up contacting the actual manufacturer of the drone, which is Skydeal, to make sure that we're going to be using the drone actually in a way that it was designed. I actually don't want to be operating outside of the limits of the drone, which it is designed for this, so it worked out quite well. We established parameters for safety, so we identified what's referred to as a visual observer, which happened to be Sergeant Kopp, which is my sergeant. A visual observer is defined by the FAA as a person of safety. Their sole purpose is to not only keep an eye on the drone, but the actual environment that we're in to make sure that we're operating safely, right? And that there aren't people or vessels or airplanes or helicopters that are going to be in the way, as well as other obstructions. We identified safety vessels, closed down so that we could close down the channel. Things of those kind of operational things to make sure that we can run a smooth aerial operation.
The vessels that were actually used for this recreation, were they police boats?
They were FWC boats that did the actual closing down of the channel, and then we were launching from an MDSO or a Miami-Dade Sheriff's Office vessel.
Are those boats equipped with emergency lights?
Yes, all emergency lights and sirens and radios.
Were the emergency lights on during this?
Yeah, during the whole time, yes.
Had you, and I think you said this was the first time that you had launched a drone from a vessel.
Yes.
Where would you usually do it?
Normally we do it from land. We use our drones not solely, but mostly for scene documentation is their primary role. We do other things with them, but they're, our main function is to take aerial photography of every police involved shooting and every homicide that we attend.
About how big is this drone?
It's 2 feet across. It weighs a little over 5 pounds.
Can you show it with your hands?
It's about like this. When it's unfolded, it folds up, but it's about that big. It comes in a big case. It can travel up to 45 miles an hour. It has a 41 megapixel camera, 2K video. 41 megapixel camera, a 2K video camera, as well as a 16-degree thermal imager.
Did you have any concerns about potentially losing the drone?
Well, I mean, it's always a concern. We're going to make sure that we're operating safely, right? We don't want to be doing something with a piece of equipment and being poor stewards of taxpayer dollars. The sheriff would not appreciate that. So we want to make sure that that we're doing everything within our ability. The drone itself is a very, very high-tech piece of gear. It has onboard AI. It has 6 additional other cameras. So it was definitely operating well within its ability.
In order to try to guard against the potential of the drone falling into the bay, did you and your sergeant kind of practice catching the drone?
Yes, on land we did several, we call them hand launches. Like I said, we don't typically do hand launches mainly because you don't need to. And it's got spinning blades. It is a little unnerving. It's safe to do, but it is unnerving that you're holding this big object with these big blades moving so fast. But it is designed for that, so it is something to do. So normally we just launch it from the ground. You can set it on the ground, it takes off on its own. It actually picks up off the ground, goes about 8 feet in the air. It does a 360 as it scans the area to start the AI that does the AI does, it uses the 6 cameras for crash avoidance. So it is constantly analyzing the surrounding environment.
Okay, so now let's talk about this actual reenactment. Can you describe for the jurors, how did that happen?
So once we all got on to the site, and we got the channel blocked off, and we're pretty much ready to go. We did a couple of trial runs so that we could sit there and make sure that we're all in agreement with what we're doing, how we're going to do it, and we're going to proceed from there. So at that time, we launched the drone, and part of our documentation process, whether I'm doing a crime scene or whether I'm doing a reenactment, the documentation process is pretty much the same. So I've got to get up in the air. I've got to take some what we call overall. And the overall image is where you have geographical identifiers that tell you where you are. Right. So if it's land-based, that's going to be street signs and buildings and things like that. Here, the only thing that we can really use is Turkey Point, because we're kind of out there in the middle of nowhere, really, when you really think about it. And there was no real identifier, so we used Turkey Point. Got a couple of reference shots from there, and then we photographed the channel itself, and then we begin the videoing process. And we're going to do several runs of the reenactment. We placed out, or FWC rather, placed out marker buoys at their designated positions to make sure that they are hitting their speed at those marks, so that they know that when they hit this mark, if they've got to be going X amount of speed, so that when they reach the next one, they've got to be going at that speed. This way, they know that we're being as accurate as you can as far as speed goes.
For the record, I'm showing council states 5E, 5F, 5D, 5C, and 5B. Your Honor, I believe without objection, the state is going to be moving states 5B, C, D, E, and F into evidence.
No objection. 5B, C.
D, E, and F.
State Exhibit 5B, previously marked identification, will become State Exhibit 91, 5C 92, 5D 93, 5E 94, and 5F 95.
Showing counsel now states 5A for identification. Judge, I believe there's no objection to the state moving 5A for identification and evidence.
State Exhibit 5A, previously marked identification, will become State Exhibit number 96.
Your Honor, may the witness step down, please?
Yes.
Detective, I'm showing you what's been marked in evidence. It states 96. I would ask you if you could use this pointer and kind of orient us to what we're looking at in this photograph.
Here we're looking at the channel marker, and we're at the actual channel. That's this right here. Right? There's an orange one here, a green one, and there's right now, and it's 13, 14, and 15. We're way back here, and this is the safety vessel that's walking off the channel.
And These photographs, did you also place them all on a jump drive?
I did.
And so the plan with the vessels was to do what, if you could just show, just so the jury will kind of have an idea of what was going to be taking place.
We're going to be coming down the channel. Here the drone, this is one thing, just take out the drone. And we're back quite right, closer to the south end of the north. And as the vessel is going to come by, I'm going to videotape the vessel for whatever it's for FWC's part in the reenactment. And the one's operating the vessel, I'm just there to document it, videograph it, videotape it.
Does this photograph, is it looking to the south or to the north? Let's start with this. Which is your police boat?
My police boat should be this one.
Okay. And what's this other little boat here?
That's an FWC, that's one of the safety vessels.
Okay.
So I'm sorry, a little bit slower,
Oh,
a
I'm
little
sorry.
bit louder, okay?
Certainly.
Thank you very much.
And so in what direction was the FWC vessel going to be traversing the channel?
They're going to be starting from the north and going south.
And so that would be which way?
Coming this way.
Okay, thank you.
No.
We have some photographs here. For the record, I'm showing Council States 91 and 92. Do these just kind of depict the overall location of where the Cutter Bank Channel is?
Yes.
And can you actually see, like, the difference in the depths of water on States Exhibit number 91?
And you can
For the
tell
channel?
that you can tell that the channel is physically deeper, and you can see the margins of the actual channel that's been cut out.
And so, like, there's a kind of darker line that goes halfway through? Is
Correct.
that the channel?
That is the channel.
So the darker the water, the deeper the water?
Potentially, yes.
I'm showing you now States Exhibit number 93. Does this exhibit show where your police vessel is?
It does.
Can you use this pen and circle where the vessel that you were on?
So,
Okay, and can you put MDSO for Miami-Dade Sheriff's Office? And where was the FWC vessel?
the FWC safety vessel is right here.
And could you put FWC? Okay, and can you now, with that pen, show us where marker number 15, 14, and 13 would be?
Yeah, this is 15, 14, and this should be marker 13.
Can I see that just for a moment? Where you marked it?
What exhibit number was that? I'm sorry.
Your Honor, this is exhibit number 93. Showing council states 4Z. Detective, I'm showing you states 4Z. Do you recognize this exhibit?
Yes, that's the jump drive I prepared.
Okay, is your handwriting on not only the jump drive, but also on the covering for it or the packaging
On the
for it?
envelope, yes.
Okay. Judge, I move, and have you seen the contents of this jump drive?
Yes, I prepared it.
And is this a fair and accurate depiction of the stills that were taken by the drone as well as the video images from the
Yes.
drone.
Yes, it is.
I move states 4Z for identification and evidence.
So we have an objection that requires the court's attention.
Come on over here, thank you.
Your Honor, the state,
Okay.
oh, sorry about that. The state, once again, is moving to states 4Z for identification and evidence.
Counsel, with that objection noted, subject to being linked, it will be admitted.
State Exhibit 4C, previously marked for
Is that C or
identification.
Z?
Z, I'm sorry, Z. Becomes State Exhibit number 97.
90,
97, Judge.
thank you.
Your Honor, may I publish? Detective, you want to step down with the court's permission? Just because the image is a little clearer, can you try to orient the jurors on showing what is picture number 1?
Okay, so that's 30.5. This is the channel here. And this is marker 15, and that little orange dot is a marker buoy. Is one of the marker buoys for the speed check, basically. So that one of those is, and that's 14. Excuse me.
And this is looking in what direction?
We are looking mostly west.
Can you orient the jury for the second photograph on jury 5?
So now we're looking to the north. We have there are islands, and we're going to be coming in from.
Wait, you need to speak up.
Sorry, we're the Barrier Islands. We're going to be coming in from the north, or at the east.
Okay, so that we'll have an idea when we see the actual video. Where does the FWC test traverse for the channel?
Well, that's it right there. That little dot back there.
And where, in what direction is it heading?
It's going to be coming south. So it's at the north end of the channel.
Can you use it a pointer?
Oh, sorry. It's at the north end of the channel. Right straight through here.
And in this photograph,
This is where we're launching from. This is our MDSO boat. That's the safety vessel. Here's marker 15, and there's that little orange dot is that speed check buoy.
okay,
It's a little wider shot, same. This is my vessel here that I'm on. It's marker 15, a little speed check buoy, marker 14, and that's if you point back in the that most northwest.
and the last photograph that we have,
And here we are, we're further down. Not quite midway with the drone, but I'm looking in that direction. The FWC vessel is going to be coming from the north, traversing south, and that's marker 13, 14, 15. The orange buoy is too small to see at this distance, but that's my vessel here, and then the safety vehicle or vessel, and the boat that's going to run the actual course.
okay. Your Honor, maybe we'll just have permission to be seated here while
Yes.
the video is playing.
Just keep plugging your voice up. Yes,
Yes, sir.
thank you.
Is that number 1?
Yes. And this first video, is it kind of like just an all-around shot to show
show the location?
That's correct. So here, videoing, trying to figure out the best altitude to be at in this area.
What's this here?
That's Turkey Point in the background, so we're getting our reference. When we do crime scene things, we do it exactly the same way over and over and over again. So this counts as kind of my overall establish my geographical location, and we're going to videotape it. That's marker 15. That's me there in the vessel. That's FWC safety vehicle and the boat that's going to run.
This is the longest video, this is about 5 minutes, right?
Yep. That's your speed marker buoy, and that's marker 15. The gray boat is the FWC, the white boat is the MBSO, and you can see me, I'm standing next to that canopy in the back there.
That's you?
That's me. A little heavier then, but yes.
And who's this?
That's Sergeant Kopp, he's the visual observer.
And the drone catcher?
And the drone catcher, yes.
Okay. May seem a little on the obvious side, but this here, what is that?
That's our anchor line. That's what holds us in position. No, you leave them, left them on the whole time.
And then is this you initiating the
So we're going to initiate the landing
process?
sequence here, and the drone knows that it's over water here, so it's a little apprehensive, so to speak. It's still operating with what it's supposed to be doing, but it knows that it's not supposed to land on water. So since it doesn't want to do that, it's sitting there analyzing the environment, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to force it to a hand catch, and it's just going to lower slowly. As all that means. It's not very dramatic.
The drone thought you were trying to kill it?
It was definitely it's designed not for it to be as safe as possible, so it knows. It doesn't help that we're bobbing around.
kind of see, but just for the record, what were the weather conditions like on that day?
Well, for boating, it's fairly flat. It was a light breeze, not very choppy. It was actually quite a nice day, actually. There wasn't a lot of traffic, boating traffic, which we picked the date. We picked a Monday. And here it comes.
Okay. Now let's start looking at some of the passes of the FWC vessel through the channel.
Can you just call out the number for us?
Yes, one moment, please. This one is S100138 drone following FWC vessel. This is the vessel.
In this video, in the beginning, I'm actually trying to keep up with the boat, but the drone doesn't go fast enough.
So you started at about the same location as the FWC vessel.
The vessel is a little bit further to the north, but thereabouts. I'm about 2/3 of the way down the channel, and the plan was as it comes through that I'm gonna zoom up with the drone. Now, the drone is capable of 45 miles an hour. However, when you do that, it uses an excessive amount of battery. So I'm going to keep it down to where it does 35, to the 35 mile an hour mark, and it's still not enough. The boat is much faster.
Where's that?
That's mark 15.
Look at S100139 drone view west FWC.
Can you say that again slowly?
Yeah. One moment. S100139 drone view west FWC. Let me just pause this real quick. This, where are you along the channel?
I'm at the far end of the channel, flying the drone. The drone is forward up by FWC. They're outside of the channel before entering the channel. They're out there because they need some distance to get up to speed, so that they have control over how fast they're so they can be as accurate as possible. They're going to get up on the plane, so they need a little bit of runway.
Is that the entrance to the channel?
It is.
What marker is that?
That should be marker 13.
Let's see, we are at. So right now, we have 18 seconds prior to the FWC vessel is right about at channel marker 15 when there's 6 seconds left. So I want to go 6 plus 9 is 15, so let's get about, we're at 18. Yeah, so we're at 18 seconds. So 3 seconds in would be about 9 seconds prior to the vessel nearly colliding with channel marker 15.
Correction leading.
It
Testifies.
is leading. so.
Okay. Okay, so right now, where are we at?
15 seconds.
Okay, so how many seconds until the vessel is nearly at the green marker?
9. Well, it gets close at 15, at 6 seconds. So it's just 9 seconds away.
Okay, so let's look at these last 9 seconds. Were there any obstructions between that vessel and the channel marker?
No.
Next, I'm playing S1001396. Drone view north FWC approach 15. And just to be really clear with this exhibit, where is the drone positioned?
Here, past the end of the channel, south end of the channel, and I've come down in elevation a little bit in altitude so that we can see the vessel and its relationship to the marker 15.
When it passes is about what's the time left on that?
7 seconds.
What's 7 plus 9?
16.
Okay, so let's go to 16 seconds out. What's the time left on the counter?
16.
Okay, so let's look at what happens over the next 9 seconds. And the final video, which for the record is S1001397. What's the time left on the counter?
4 seconds.
And what's 4 plus 9?
4 plus 9 is 13.
You'd be doing a math class. Where's the counter at right now?
13 seconds.
Okay. Let's see what happens over this 9 seconds. Thank you, I have no other questions.
Oh, because I don't.
You can use yours.
Judge, if I could have access to the video exhibit
Sure.
from the clerk. I think it's the exhibit 97. Good afternoon, Detective.
Good afternoon.
My name is Howard Srebnick. We haven't spoken before, you and I?
I don't believe so.
Okay. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
So you were effectively the person documenting the events of the day that we've just observed on the video.
That's correct.
And you were doing that with technology, drone technology.
Correct.
Okay. Now, we'll get to it. I'm going to have Carlos Cruz from my office. He's setting us up, and we'll go to it in a minute, but just general observations. So you were out there on that day. Do you know what the tide was at the time? High tide, low tide, if you recall?
I don't.
Okay. And simple proposition, the higher the tide at a moment in time, the closer the marker is to the water surface, correct?
That's correct.
Okay. So at high tide, that would bring let's say the green marker as close to the surface on any given day at its high tide.
Correct. Here in Miami, about 3 feet, give or take.
3 feet being
The tide, the height of
difference
the
between
tide.
high tide and low tide?
Right, so the high tide is be 3 feet, then you'll have ebb for about an hour, there about 50 some odd minutes, and then back down to low tide, which will be about the same, then it returns, ebb again, and then high tide again.
So approximately a 3 feet difference between high tide and low tide?
Yes, for the bank.
So at high tide, that marker will appear 3 feet lower on the horizon than it would appear at low tide.
That's correct.
Okay. And here we were talking about a green marker.
Excuse me, could we move the monitor just, because I don't know that the jurors can see the witness
Oh.
right now.
I could move it back.
And if I could have, may I take this exhibit? Of course. This is State's Exhibit 96. And I'm going to try to do this so that you and I can work together. You know what, shall we have? Is that okay, Judge? Sure. How about you and I have a conversation right here? I want to make sure everybody wants to see it from the state can see it. Actually, what I'll do is I'll turn around. And Judge, forgive me for giving you my back. Okay. And so this is an overview of that area? It is. Okay. Now, you were referring to 3 different markers, 13, 14, and 15. But actually, it's 13A, 14, and 15. Isn't that right?
It very well could be. I marked it as 13.
Okay. Because there actually is a marker 13 further to the north. A green marker 13 further to the north, isn't there?
I'm not familiar with that, but by your better judgment, I don't know.
Okay. Well, when it was Lieutenant Thompson who was operating the vessel that day,
Yes.
and at the north end, so let's pretend we're looking north now, there would be a red marker and a green marker at the north end that are actually almost, let's say, at the same side, not say side by side, but at the same, if you're driving your boat, there'd be a green marker on your left and a red marker on your right.
Correct.
That's when you enter the channel.
That's correct.
That's actually the only time in the channel where if you look to the right and you look to the left, you would actually see the markers at the same time.
Yes.
The other 3 markers are, the other 3 markers are staggered.
That's correct.
Okay, they are not opposite each other.
That's correct.
Okay, so let's be clear. The markers 13A, 14, and 15 are not opposite each other.
No, they're staggered.
They are staggered.
Yes.
And you can see that stagger in this picture, right?
Yes.
Okay. So What marker is this?
Well, which is now known as 13A,
Okay, what marker is that?
14.
And what's that?
That's 15.
Okay, now marker 15 is green, right?
Right.
The water is sort of green in this picture.
It's,
Okay. You would, of course, we're zoomed out. Not as easy to see the green as it is to see the red.
yes,
Correct?
that's correct.
Okay. And you recall that marker 15 is about 4 feet shorter than marker 13A.
As a result of the tide?
No, just as a result of the size of the pilot.
That I don't know. I did not measure the pile.
Okay. You know that marker 15 is the shortest marker in the channel.
I would not know.
And so, we're going to look at some videos in a moment. As the vessel is traveling southbound, that's southbound, I'm pointing south?
Yes.
Okay, and forgive me because I said that was north earlier, but now I turned you around. When the vessel passes marker 13A, not 13, we're talking about 13A, there is no corresponding marker red to the right of 13A. Am I correct?
That's correct.
Okay. The next marker is hundreds of feet southbound on the intercoastal waterway, right?
Yes.
And then once the vessel gets to marker 14, which is red, the last green marker is hundreds of feet southbound from marker 14.
Yes.
Okay? And so when the vessel finally gets to marker 14, having passed marker 13A, there is no green marker to the operator's left when the operator passes marker 14. Am I correct?
Yes.
Okay. Now, beyond marker 15, there are no other markers in this channel, correct? The channel is finished.
That's the channel ends.
This is wide open bay between marker 15 and Angelfish Creek.
Yes, I believe so.
Are there any other markers over the next hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands of feet?
Not that I'm aware of.
So it's wide open bay from the time the vessel clears marker 15 until all the way to Angelfish Creek,
Correct.
right? Okay, so shall we look at some videos together?
Sure.
Okay.
Judge, may we go sidebar? I'm so sorry.
Numbers of the various exhibits, but maybe we'll start with, was that? That's right. This will be hang on just one second, S1001-1397. Okay. So we're looking north towards marker 13A, right? You now know this is 13A,
Yes.
right? You can hold it there. Pause. Great. Do you see that in this image we can actually see north of 13A is markers green 13 and red 12?
Yes.
Okay. So this channel, at least, are there any markers even further north?
I do not believe so.
Do you see that in the yonder there are two more markers well north? Can you see that? Hard to see, right? Are they not there? I can't tell. Not sure?
I don't think that's part of this channel.
Okay.
That channel is further to the other side. Yes, you can see those tiny dots.
Okay, we'll leave that aside for the moment. The relevant portions of this exercise include 5 markers, right? Green 13, red 12,
Yes.
which are, I'm going to say side by side, but we understand it's not like you and I are side by side. It means that they're a distance apart, but we can sort of see each other as the boat goes through.
The same relative axis. Yes.
The same relative axis. Okay, thank you. And then when the vessel continues southbound in the channel, it would then pass green 13A, correct?
Yes,
Well before it passes red 14.
correct.
So let's roll it for a second. Or a few seconds, I should say. Keep going. Okay, we can pause it now. Thank you. And so as we discussed before, this vessel has now cleared green marker 13A, but still has not cleared red marker 14.
Correct.
And to reorient everyone, this is marker 15, green 15, and south of that there are no more markers.
Correct.
Okay. So once the vessel clears 15, it's done with the channel.
The channel then exists.
Okay. So let's keep rolling. Stop it now. And let's see where we are on that timeline that we were looking at earlier. We're at 42 to 12. So 12 seconds left. Someone's going to have to do the math for me, but we'll roll it. We're at 12 now. So I can see the numbers. Pause. So we were more or less at the 9-second mark that the
Correct.
prosecutor was asking about?
Thereabouts.
Okay, and the operator of this vessel was holding a steady course throughout that entire last 9 seconds.
Yes.
No weaving,
No.
no going back and forth,
No.
no hot dogging,
No.
no thrill seeking,
No.
and had, well, the operator of this vessel obviously noticed that marker 15 was coming up and took an action to avoid it.
That's a pretty predominant feature, so yes.
Correct. And there's plenty of water depth on either side of that marker for a boat like that that has outboards that only takes up a foot or two of draft, correct?
Yes.
So that the operator of that motor vessel could choose either side of the marker and not run aground.
Correct.
Okay, great. Let's go to the next video. And by the way, the operator of the vessel wouldn't need to wait until the last second. The operator could have done it at 9 seconds or 8, 7, 6, 5. At any point in time, just turn the wheel a little bit to the left, turn the wheel a little bit to the right, and avoid the marker altogether. Fair statement? Yes?
Yes.
And this view, hold it right there, is essentially the same approach, but with the drone a little bit lower.
Correct.
And this is S1001396.
Yes.
Okay, great. Now, I'd like you to take a note, if you can tell from this image, that the three green markers, 13, 13A, and 15, do not make a straight line.
From this angle, they do not appear to straight line. That's correct.
From any angle.
Well, I couldn't say from any angle. I don't know if we were to move further to the left and down if they would be straight. I would suspect that they are not.
Right. Isn't it true that 13A actually is further west into the channel because there's a shoal area just east of 13A?
I believe it is to the, it is further to the west.
Okay. And so, if we could roll the tape. And let me stop you right there, Carlos. So this vessel has now cleared 13A, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And the only green marker left is 15, right?
Correct.
Okay. And as we discussed before, the vessel could travel further south because of it's a boat that can operate in shallower water. It can choose a path on either side of green 15, provided that there's no other boats in the way.
Correct.
Okay. Let's roll. And let's hit knots. So this operator was intentionally aiming for 15, knowing that it was going to avoid it at the last second, right?
Yes.
That was the design of this exercise.
Yes, we're replicating the GPS data.
Right.
Yes.
And so that the jury understands replicating the GPS data, the operator had predetermined a course to take based on GPS information
Yes.
and was going to try to replicate the path of that GPS information.
To the best of their ability. Yes.
Okay. And try to replicate the speed.
Yes.
Okay? That was calculated based on that GPS.
Yes.
And to the best of your knowledge, that's what this represents.
Yes.
But of course, you didn't do that exercise yourself.
No, I did the drawing.
Okay. You're the camera crew.
I'm the camera.
No disrespect, but like the camera there is observing us.
Same.
They don't plan it, you just document it.
That's it.
Okay, great. And so if we roll it, with a second and a half to go, not even, this operator was able to do a slight turn, avoid the mark.
Correct.
Okay. As the vessel was traveling in that path, at that speed, in these conditions, did it appear to be operating unsafely?
No.
The only thing that would create a problem is hitting the mark.
Correct.
At that speed, under these conditions, with this good lighting, safe operation.
Well, with the things that we did to ensure that, yes.
Well, what you did to make sure of it, of course, was that you had police boats to make sure there's no other traffic.
Yes.
So absent another boat, if there's no boat in the way, no other boats in the channel, traveling as this vessel did, at that speed, in these conditions, perfectly safe, so long as you don't hit the channel marker.
So long as you don't hit the channel.
Okay. Now, do you have a view from the north side of the channel? Do we have a view in here? I think we do. Let's see if we go to the north approach, maybe? No, view north and south. Let's see if we have it. Okay. Let's try looking south, maybe? That's not a video, right? Forgive me. Well, let's try the drone following the vessel. Okay, let's hold it there. Okay, so let's orient ourselves. We're now on the north end of the channel.
Correct. It's just before the entrance.
I say we, but it's the drone.
The drone.
You're actually over here somewhere, right?
I'm on that vessel. Yes.
Okay.
Number how?
This is S1001384 drone following BWC vessel. So let's roll, and I think we're going to see the vessel come into the frame at the bottom right of our screen somewhere. And when we get to 13A, we're going to pause a moment. So you recall this is when I'm going to point now to the screen, a lighter color area. There's a shoal there, right?
Yes, there is.
Okay. Now, when a motor vessel encounters shallower water, a vessel, even without pushing the throttle, can gain speed. Right?
Yes, due to the shallowing of the water. Yes.
So you could be going at 43 miles an hour, this vessel, and when it encounters the shoal to its port side, without even touching the throttle, the boat can gain speed because of the shallow water next to it.
And if they're close enough, yes.
Okay? So let's roll it, and then let's stop it. Again, since now we're doing a different view, I'd like to have you point out, green marker 13A has no red marker anywhere to its starboard side.
That's correct.
There's no marker opposite green marker 13A.
Correct.
And as we keep rolling, now, if the operator of the vessel thought this was the last green marker, Angelfish Creek is basically, this boat is heading out towards Angelfish Creek.
Yes, it's in that direction. Yes.
But there's a marker in between,
Correct.
the green 15.
Correct.
Okay. Let's keep rolling. And now let's stop. The vessel is now passing red marker 14.
Yes.
We know that's on the starboard, the right side of the vessel.
Yes.
And if the operator looks to the left, there is no other green marker opposite marker 14. 15 happens to be well down the channel.
Yes.
Okay? And then if we roll, roughly 9 seconds later, it encounters marker 15.
Correct.
Thank you. I'm done with the video. Now, a motor vessel, you told the jury, has no brakes.
It does not.
Okay? Now, you also told the jury traveling at 47 miles per hour on a boat is different than in a car.
It is.
Right. A couple of differences. One is, typically in a car you're enclosed and you have a windshield and windows, right?
Yes.
Now, have you ever ridden in a car where the Jeep puts the windshield down and you take all the doors off?
No.
Okay, have you ever ridden a motorcycle?
Yes.
Okay. Riding a motorcycle feels a whole lot different than riding in a car.
Absolutely.
It's because you're encountering the force of the wind, the friction of the wind, right?
Yes, you're completely exposed. Yes.
And it feels faster maybe, but it's the same speed. 47 in a car and 47 in a motorcycle is the same thing.
Yes, it is.
Now, on a boat, you likewise typically don't have a windshield, although you could in this boat. The operator had a windshield, right?
Correct.
And a windshield helps keep that wind from blowing in your face.
Yes.
Okay. But a boat also has the resistance of the water to bring it to a stop. Meaning, a car, let's use a car. You take your foot off the gas, the car keeps rolling because of that fabulous invention we call the wheel,
Yes.
right? And if you're in a car, you take your foot off the brake on the expressway, your car's going to keep going, although it's going to start to slow down, right?
Yes.
But a boat's going to slow down a whole lot faster when you pull that throttle back, right? Because it's encountering all the resistance of water.
Yes.
Okay? So it doesn't have brakes, but it has two features: the resistance of the water, and once you bring the throttle into neutral, you can then put a boat into reverse.
Yes.
And that slows the boats down.
Also.
In
Yes.
fact, that's how the big ships, when they come into port, that's how they slow themselves down, right?
Yes.
Okay. So it doesn't have a brake like a car does, but it has those two forces working to stop a boat.
Yes.
The friction of the water and pulling back the throttle, indeed putting it into reverse if you'd like to.
Yes.
Okay. I don't know if I asked you about the, did I ask you about the heights of the marker?
You did?
And you didn't have any, you didn't do those measurements?
I didn't do any measurements on them.
If I could just have a moment, Your Honor?
When the images that were taken by the drone were then reproduced so we could have pictures to show the jury rather than just a jump drive, is there a little bit of a change in the coloring in that process if it's not a really super high quality printer?
Yes.
Is it all that difficult to see a green channel marker when you're on the water in Biscayne Bay?
No, not at all.
Does that green blend into the color of the water?
No. The water's only green because of the angle in which we're looking at it. If you're closer to the surface, it's more blue.
Although channels are designed to give pathways to vessels, are they necessarily going to be straight and perpendicular like a street could be?
No.
Why?
Well, the channel, when the channel is dredged, they take into account a shoal or rocks or wildlife and protected grasses and all those kinds of things.
What's
So
a
it-
shoal?
A shoal is a raised area under the surface of the water. In this case, it's just the path we follow. It's, you know, I think it's more like a walking path, right? It's crooked. It's not going to be straight up and down. It's not as straight as an arrow necessarily. They can be, but not always.
So would it be important when you're operating through a channel to pay attention, because you can't just expect that those channel markers are going to be exactly parallel to each other?
Yes.
Now, would you think that running a vessel into a channel marker at 47 miles per hour is a safe way to operate a vessel?
No.
Is the safest way to get, let's say, from Cutter Bank Channel to Angelfish Creek, is the safest way to get there literally going through channel marker 15?
Not physically going through channel marker 15, entering and exiting is. That's why the markers are there.
So you shouldn't be hitting the markers to get to Angelfish Creek. You should go around the markers. Is that fair to say?
Yes, it is.
Nothing else.
Witnesses excused, thank you, sir.
You're welcome, ma'am.
Enough for the day, Judge.
Yes. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we've had a very full day. We're going to end now. Please put your notepads inside your envelopes.
Mara, could we approach this on a scheduling matter? We don't need the court reporter.
I don't go into people doing that.
I think it just has to do with what time they come out.
Okay. Give me a minute so I can give you a good time when you're going to be here tomorrow, okay? All right, so here's the plan. We're going to ask you to be back tomorrow morning at 10:30. Okay? Back at 10:30. Same instruction, we're going to go to the jury room. You set the floor in the line, wait for the name, we'll bring it down when you're ready to have them in the courtroom. Please remember not to discuss this case with each other, anything about this case, or with anyone else. Please no independent research or investigation to try to gather any information or anyone on the evidence that's important presented to you. Okay? If you see any of us outside the courtroom, we're going to continue to ignore you. So we're not going to answer questions, we're not going to say hello. And basically, everyone in the courtroom has to be aware that you're a juror. They may not recognize you as one of our jurors, but where your juror badge is always well displayed in the courthouse and even in the area around the courthouse, especially during the lunchtime. Okay? If you see or hear anything that you think involves this case in the news, social media, newspaper, anything, please ignore it. Okay? Don't read it, watch it, don't listen to it. If you're not sure, ignore it. Okay? Don't wait to find out afterwards that it had something to do with this case. And tomorrow we're going to have an earlier day. We're going to finish somewhere around 4 o'clock, maybe even a few minutes before. Okay? Just wanted to give you all that information. So you're going to come in at 10:30. I would ask you to have breakfast. We would take our lunch break probably somewhere around 1 or so. It'll be a little bit of a later lunch break. And I'm not even sure why you're taking another break in the afternoon, because we're going to make it a shorter day. Okay? So you've got the schedule, and we'll see you tomorrow morning at 10:30, and I'll excuse them.
Thank you.
I'm gonna ask everyone please just to wait a moment or two before you step outside, so we give the jury a chance to get down the hallway. We're not going to recess for a moment, but I just want to announce, I'm going to have everyone here tomorrow to handle a couple of legal issues before the jury and it's all before 10 o'clock. And Cindy, if you could please ask your witness as well, if you can be here at 10 o'clock, and I'll handle whatever matters in the morning.
Judge, one thing that might be helpful is if the defense can send over to us any and all clips that they would want to show to Lieutenant Thompson, I can forward that on to him, and maybe he can look at them tonight. That would be great, because that'll make tomorrow, I think, that much more smooth.
That'll be just fine. However you want to manage it between all of you, but we'll be here at 10 o'clock, and the jury will be back at 10:30. All right, if there's anything further tonight, I'll give you the order.
You're doing your